Ahoy there, welcome to the Savvy Squid. It's Captain Katie here, and today we're going to be doing another video in the Mossery plate to paper workbook. I did not share an unboxing of this, so you don't know everything that was really inside, but these are two of the main things we're going to be using today. The first thing is the Mossery and Plates of Paper Watercolor Practice Guidebook. This kind of just guides you through this. So what this is the actual workbook. This is printed onto Mossery sketchbook paper. And this is where I did the swatches. So if you haven't checked that video out, go ahead and check it out up there. It's just a lot of swatches, really. And then this page right here has some lines to where you can actually follow along in the guidebook. So this page right here corresponds with this page in the workbook. So today we're going to be going over this first page here. And I will tell you that this book is going to make you very hungry because just look at all this delicious food that we're eventually going to be painting. So grab your art supplies, paint with me if you want, and let's go ahead and dive in. So I'm going to be using the brushes that came in the set. They are Interlawn brushes. I've actually never heard of them. It came with a size 2 and a size 4. And I'm going to be doing mixing. Some of it will be on camera because I am going to do this just like real time. But some of it won't be, so it'll just kind of be dependent on how long it's taking. We're just going to paint all of these. Thankfully, I don't have to sketch them in. It definitely cuts my time down. And I'm just right now trying to make like a pinky watermelon color. I'm kind of basing what I'm doing off of this, but I'm also just going to be kind of painting. So it talks about doing both wet and wet and wet on dry techniques. Those are kind of just basic watercolor techniques. So we're going to do a mix of them here, and I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to make it more red down here, like at the tip, and then kind of blend it out to fade it a little bit because the rind is usually, you know, a little bit more white. And then I'm just going to kind of bring it up. And then I'm going to take some of the other color I've already mixed and just kind of dip it in there to make it a little darker. Yeah, so while I do some of these, might as well talk about what happened recently. So, I'm kind of annoyed, I won't lie. So, baby V broke my glasses. Yeah, she snapped the arm just right off. And I won't lie, it was my fault. I wasn't paying attention like I should have been. But it's just annoying. The perks of being an artist, I actually had some resin on hand. So I literally just resined them back on. So it works, but it was still very annoying. While this one dries, I'm going to go on to the apple here, and I might just use a straight vermilion. Might cool it down with a little bit of opera, but probably not much. And I'm just going to go in with a really wet layer because I kind of want to just be messy with it and play around with some techniques. I think that's the point of this particular page, is just to do different techniques. So we're just gonna plop in maybe some red over here to give it like some shading. And it's funny because I feel like I'm okay at watercolor. I've been using it for quite a few years now, but I've never actually like studied it or anything. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to do this, to give myself a chance to actually study it. I'm gonna make it a little darker right here. And we're just gonna have this like center area for like a highlight. And we're just gonna let that dry. While I noticed it, the watermelon is not looking as dark as I want it. So we're gonna go in with another layer here. And let's go into this eggplant. This is a fun purple color. Alright, so we're just gonna go right on in and just kind of plop it in there. And then, as per usual, just to kind of lighten it up, I'm going to just use water and kind of bring it out. You know, I think one thing I also like about this kit is that I can paint differently and not feel bad about it. Like, I do one way of painting,
And I don't know why, but I'm just like really set in my ways. And I feel like I can just kind of play around and have fun with this. And it's honestly a nice feeling. Ooh, the bananas! These look fun. I'm just gonna use like straight Hansa, or is it Hansa yellow? Whatever this one is. Also, you may notice in my palette, I now have 2 of the yellow and 2 of the like secondary yellow. Yeah, these are my tainted with green yellows. So, alright, so what I'm gonna do for these is they're just gonna get like a solid layer of this. And then I'm going to come back and add some like brown to give it some definition. Let's see. This is a daikon, I believe. This one right here. So I'm going to start out really green, and then we're just going to kind of feather it out into a not so green. Whoops, I went way out of the lines. Oh no. It will survive, and so will I. But yeah, not much has been going on in my life right now. I've just been not doing much, honestly. I've been dealing with my whole glasses situation, and yeah, I had to order new ones, which I feel like is pretty obvious. Waiting on them to get here. Don't think they're gonna be here for a little while. That's fun. Oh, one thing I'm gonna do is put some water right here to kind of push that pigment out. And I left a little white for the shine on this little cherry. It's also cool that a lot of these are the same color. So these little beets, they're like, I don't even know, they're like this really pinky color. I just got my hand all in that. Yay. Anyway, they're like this nice pinky color. We're gonna vary this a little bit and just not dip in. Also, they've got this like nice dark speckling, so maybe we'll plop in some little bloops of darker color. This is so much fun. It's probably not fun for you because I have nothing to talk about outside of what I'm doing, but I do think this is really fun. Plus, if you are thinking about getting this kit, it's a good way to see what's in it, right? Alright, so I think this watermelon's dry, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to mix a little bit of the black with some of the color that I used initially to draw this. And we're just going to get that water drop off. A huge water drop. And I'm just going to kind of paint in some dark little seeds. I think 3 should be good. I'm liking how this apple's looking. I just feel like it needs a little more help. So we'll just darken it up a little bit. Oh, it's still wet. Okay, cool. This is looking perfect. I really don't even want to do anything else to the eggplant outside of color the little top. But we'll get to that. This, however, is not looking good. These did not dry very well. Let's see, this daikon could also go with some leaves. Add a little brown to them to kind of make them earthy. And then just use some water to lighten it up on the sides. This is your sign that if you are doing something in your art and you want to try something else, do it. Because it is so freeing. Also, I'm just gonna... I love bleeds, so when something bleeds into another color, I am not upset about it. So if you ever notice that in my art, I actually really like doing that. Alright, so we added a little green here. And now I'm going to add that same like stem color that I just added to the apple. And then I actually want to get some burnt sienna. Water it down just a bit and just kind of go swoop and swoop. Just to give those bananas some depth. And then maybe we'll go in with these leaves and just kind of zigzag in there. Water the other side. And yes, I plan on going over these with multiple layers. So don't worry. I'll do a green stem for this little cherry. I feel like it's sacrilegious for people to use black or something in watercolor, and I'm just like, but why? And I understand the general, like, it muddies the colors, but listen, I don't care. I think if you don't go crazy with it, it's fine. And I think you should do whatever makes you happy in art. And so if somebody's going to be cranky about some random rules that don't actually exist, then you should ignore them. Ooh, this pear will be fun. We're going to let this avocado thing dry. And we're going to mix up some yellow in this green color right here. Let's see, it's also got a little brown in there, so we'll get some brown in there. It's kind of just like a dirty yellow, really. I feel like I'm using the wrong yellow. I think I want the warmer one. Oh yeah, that was a good color. I don't normally paint food. Like, I know this is starting out as like fruits and veg, but I know it'll eventually become food because I showed it a little bit earlier. I do still think it's nice. Okay, I'm gonna go in with this like yellow ochre color. It is yellow ochre, I don't know why I said it like that. And I'm going to water it down with a bit of burnt sienna and maybe some of this green. And I'm just going to kind of lightly make some lines on this daikon. And if I don't like them, I'm just going to get rid of them. It's magic. I'm going to water that down more. It was way too dark. There we go. Hopefully that'll dry a lot better than the other thing would have. I have made a fatal error. See if I can fix it real quick. I got my hand all in that. It's not too bad. Let's see. Let me go ahead and kind of dip some more color back in there because I just demolished it. I need to be more mindful on how I'm working. I always tend to work from left to right, and I'm left-handed, so that's a terrible idea. One thing I want to do for these blueberries is get them wet first and then put the blue in. I think that'll be fun. So we'll just kind of bloop. And then we'll come back to them when they're a little bit more dry. Alright, let's work on... We should work on the lemon. I just started talking about how I work the wrong way. Let's go in with this aptly named lemon yellow and just kind of water it down a little bit. And then I want to add just a little bit of this like darker yellow so they can kind of blend and mix in here. While that's a drying, we'll go for the strawberry. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna save a spot for the seeds. In the little painting it shows off to the side, they are white, like somebody masked them off. I don't care enough right now because it's such a tiny little strawberry that I don't think it would be worth it. So instead they're gonna have dark seeds like the watermelon. Ooh, and then we have a really pretty tomato over here. It's kind of like this orange color. Maybe it's an orange. I don't know. It kind of looks like a tomato. And so we're just kind of painting. Yeah, that's what we've been doing this whole video, Katie. I'm just kind of dropping in color. I have an obsession right now. And that is adding water after I've painted things to get like water speckle effects. I am obsessed. And I probably shouldn't be because, you know, not all art pieces need that. But I feel like they do. So that's what I've been doing in my art lately. Do you have like an obsession that you've been doing in your art and you just can't stop? Even though maybe it's illogical or whatever. Alright, we'll go in lastly for this little broccoli. I'm going to paint the stem first and kind of just get that green in there. And then I'm going to take like a more viridian colored green, lighten it up just a touch, and then just kind of plop in there. Maybe I'll darken it up with a little touch of burnt sienna just to give it earthier colors. Kind of just bloop it on in there. Oh, that was so much water. Whoops. You know, this video is really long. As it stands, this video is like 20 minutes long. And I haven't even done the avocado yet. Priorities, am I right? I'll do 1 page per unless it's not taking me forever. Unless you want these in speed paint format. And then I could do multiple pages. So actually, let me know down in the comments. Would you rather have like a long format video where I just kind of talk like this? Or would you rather have something shorter where, you know, you can get more content in one video? Because, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it gets a bit redundant after a while when I'm just really just painting the same exact thing. Or that's what it feels like anyway. Also, yes, these are extremely outside the lines and off frame. So, apologies. Okay, we're going to darken up this Viridian with a touch of black. I'm going to add some sienna and more Viridian just to make it darker. And then we're going to go in and kind of add it to this broccoli. Just for like a little added darkness. Maybe we'll go in with some yellow ochre for this pear right here. And a lot of this is already dried. I'm going to go ahead and say the watermelon is done up there. And probably same with the apple. And, you know, I like the eggplant. I might add a little touch of like some detail. But those are looking good. I feel like there's a few that I could go in and add some detail to. Bananas are looking fine. Yeah, I didn't have the little tips. Alright, bananas are looking fine. The daikon, I really want to darken some of that up. So we're going to go ahead and go in and just really loosely indicate some shadow. Oh, I got my arm in the broccoli. It's not something you hear too much on an art channel. We'll add a little bit of brown just right here at the bottom. And then I'm going to go ahead and say the daikon is done. Same with the cherry. We need to darken up some of the radish. Yeah, the little darker spots. So I'm just gonna go in and just kind of give them some little blobs. Just be real loose about it, really. I mean, there's no point in trying to make it all super shaded and stuff. Maybe I'll go in with a wet brush and add some little blobs. And then darken it up with the leaves. Go ahead and call those done. Actually, I'm going to dab up that one right there because it was just looking really odd. Probably because it was extremely wet. Alright, I'm just gonna go back over this and let it dry. You know, these blueberries are just kind of looking good. I really don't want to do much more to them, but I'm going to because I have a too much gene. I'm gonna mix some ultramarine with the opera to get like a purpley blue. And then we're just gonna go in these really dark spots. Oh, and this little flower crown looking dude. And we're just going to darken that up. Dry off me brush. And just kind of fade it out just a bit. Alright, I'm going to call those done. Just realizing I did not do the stem on the strawberry. Same with the little tomato / orange stem. Honestly, don't know what to call it. It kind of looks like an orange. The more I look at it, the more it looks like an orange. I am going to take a dark, like a black, mix it with some blue, and just add some little tiny, these are not tiny, dots to the strawberry. And then everything else is going to have to dry before I get to it, except for the avocado. So I'm literally just going to trace this line because it's a cut avocado, so you're not really going to see too much of the rind or the skin or whatever. You will see it a little bit. And I might glaze over some yellow, just like right here in the center to make it have more depth. And then another thing I'll do to more depth it is add some lines on the seed here. Darken up some of this part right here. I just need to let them dry, so I'm going to let this stuff dry, and then I shall be back. Okie doke, I am back, and I'm going to start off with adding just some texture to this pear, because pears have a lot of texture. And I'll just leave that like that. We'll go ahead and make a darker color for that beet again. Looking much better. Let's see. I want to add some little splotches to this fruit of some variety. Maybe add a little bit of yellow in there as well, just to brighten it up right in the center. Then I think I'll do the same over here to this lemon just to give it some texture. Because all these foods really have a texture, and it's nice to be able to kind of showcase that a little bit. But I think I'm going to call this done. So here's what I made right here. All of this. Let me zoom out so you can see that. And this was kind of like the guide. So I think I did okay. It's not perfect. Color matching is different, whatever. But this was fun, and it got me out of my comfort zone, and I think it worked really well. So we're going to take that as a win, and next week we're going to be doing this next page. There's a lot on it, and I think it's going to take me longer because it's more food related. Let's see, here's the booklet here. This has to do with masking fluid, and they did include a pin. I'll share it next week, but I talk about it, and so I think that should be its own video. So until then, let's take the win. These look pretty good. They look fun. They're out of the lines a lot. I think next week I'm going to try more to be in the lines, but this was really fun. There's a water drop right there. So thank you for joining me for this workbook. I don't really know what else to say outside of this was fun, and let's do it again next week. Alright, little end of the video spiel. If you haven't joined me over on Patreon and you want access to things like prints, stickers, charms, pins, etc. mailed to you every month, be sure to check out my Patreon. The link is in the description. I also have an art store, and right now until November 5th, you can get access to all of my Halloween and fall items. They will be leaving the shop on November 5th. Make sure you grab those before they leave for a year. If you want to use the code SQUINKTOBER, you can get 10% off your entire order, at least through the month of October. Follow me on all my social media. Again, all of that stuff is linked in the description below. And until next week, stay safe on the seas out there. Captain Katie out.